What's the age-old saying? If you can't beat them, join them. All right, let's try.
Here we go, Steelers! Here we go!
Fire Mike Tomlin. Fire Mike Tomlin, mediocre Mike. We need to get rid of him. We've got to start fresh. It's been 7 years since a playoff win. We need to get rid of Mike Tomlin. He is absolutely awful. Is that what you want? Is that what Steel fans want? Fire Mike Tomlin. Get rid of him. Just Mike Tomlin. Get rid of Mike Tomlin. Out of everyone, out of all the players, the other coaches, out of I don't even know, players, coaches, or whoever on the bench and people making mistakes and making fumbles and doing bad throws. Fire Mike Tomlin. He did not have this team prepared again. Fire Mike Tomlin. Is that what you want? Is that what YouTube wants? Is that what YouTubers do now? It's just it's when we get to this point again, and yeah, it was a loss. The loss was bad. I'm not saying that we played well. I'm not saying that we deserved to win that game. 1917, the Bengals won that game. And right now, the Broncos are taking care of the Chiefs. So it won't even matter for the Bengals season. I'm not saying we play good football. We do need to improve. And yes, the last 4 losses do suck. But it always comes back to Mike Tomlin. So here it is. I'll play this side of the fence for once. Fire Mike Tomlin. And here's why. Here's why we should fire Mike Tomlin. And at the same time, when we say that, who's going to be the coach? But here's why we should fire Mike Tomlin. Every single year, it comes down to this point where the Steelers are in the playoffs and we have a chance in the dance, but the team is just not ready. You know what I'm saying? They're just not ready. It's all Mike Tomlin's fault. The fumble, the incomplete pass by Frymouth is Mike Tomlin's fault. The Calvin Austin fumble is Mike Tomlin's fault. You know, I can't even do it. I can't even sit here and do it. I just was trying to think, how do I play that game in YouTube Steel Land, and really go after a coach that everyone else seems to do. They're like, oh, we have to get rid of the coach because he's awful, he's terrible, blah, blah. You know, the season's over, yada, yada, yada. I can't do it. But yesterday's loss was a bad loss. It really was. And now we have to see if the Chargers win today versus the Raiders and the Steelers go to versus Baltimore in Baltimore for redemption game, revenge game. The season isn't over yet, but yes, there are a lot of problems. Offensive line was really bad. From our tackles to our interior guys, they weren't communicating. Russell Wilson was holding the ball way too long, and he was getting sacks and throwing bad passes, and he just wasn't – the offense was terrible. It was not good. It wasn't great. But to me, it can't come down to always just on the coach. And yes, if you are still a fan and you want to say fire Mike Tomlin, you more than likely to. You can do whatever you want to. I'm just sick of the argument because the Rooneys aren't going to fire Mike Tomlin. He's got 2 years left in his contract. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how the playoff plays out next week when we verse the Ravens or we verse the Texans. Let's see how it plays out. If we go and win a playoff game, then you guys will feel much better. It doesn't feel good being 0-4, but I can't sit there. There are more things going on in this club, in the Steelers club, that there probably are personnel decisions where Mike Tomlin must step up and make choices. But there are certain things where players got to step up too. You know, Corey Trice was playing his best that he could, but he was getting burnt. JPJ did some good things and some bad things in the secondary. Minka Fitzpatrick did some good things too and some bad things. Our secondary was getting lit up by Joe Burrow. That's how football works out. Once T. Higgins went out, our defense played much better defense. But our offense could not play that style of football when there was a turnover or when the Bengals dropped the football on their foot and gave us a chance. We couldn't score a TD to win the game. And that would have guaranteed us the 5th seed and have some more confidence going into next week in the playoffs. But I understand it. Steeler Nation is very frustrated. I am too. I'm frustrated at the organization, how bad they're playing. I want to see success. I want to see them run the ball really well, 100 yards a game, and play solid defense and get to the quarterback and sacks and turnovers and stuff like that. We saw some good play from Beanie Bishop, some really good play from Cameron Hayward and guys like that. There were times where we had a chance to win the game, but our offense couldn't come down to the clutch moment to win it in the last moments. But I'm not going to sit here and say at the very start of the video with my sarcasm voice, fire Tomlin. That is more of an off-season discussion. And we all know, as Steelers fans, it's not what we want as fans, what we think's going to happen. It's more like what do you know the Steelers are going to do? And pretty much the Steelers aren't going to get rid of Mike Tomlin. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to fire your coach with 1 week for the playoffs. So it's a bit of wasted breath from that sense. But I understand it. I know Steel Nation is upset. They're pissed off. They're very frustrated. They're like very angry that now going 7 seasons without winning a playoff game. But looking around to it, I still feel confident this team can get a W and figure things out. And Russell Wilson can bounce back. Now, can they play Justin Fields? Sure, they might play him sparingly, but they're going to probably play Russell Wilson in the playoff game. Anyways, I might do a video later on today. It looks like the Bengals are going to be out of contention, dude, because it all comes down to Denver versus KC and the Jets versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins have to lose, and so does Denver. Not going to happen. The Bengals season finally comes to an end, and we're going to have the 5th seed or the 6th seed, and Denver looks like they're going to have the 7th. And then we have playoff football next week, but I understand the frustration. Fire Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin sucks. He's terrible. He's mediocre. Mike, we're never going to win a Super Bowl without Mike Tomlin or with Mike Tomlin. He is terrible. Is that fun? That's amazing. It's not that fun. It really isn't that fun going after the coach with nothing behind it. Tell me what to do. Tell me what the Steelers should do if they fire Mike Tomlin. What coach are they getting? Are they getting an offensive coach? Are they getting a defensive coach? Who are they promoting? Who are they going to bring in? What do they do in the draft? Tell me with some more of an action plan than just saying, fire Mike Tomlin, he's mediocre Mike. There's nothing behind that. What else do you want? Do you want to go and grab another coach who you might know in your circle of NFL knowledge? I don't know. Maybe go and give me more than just a Mike Tomlin fire. Because it's not going to happen. And all the people are saying it, all the YouTubers out there, the DKs of the world are saying change and this. And yes, it was a bad performance, but it's not a fireable performance. It was bad. The last 4 weeks have been bad, but it's not fireable. And if you were the owner of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin just got you to the playoffs again for a chance in the dance. Let's see what happens first next week when we verse Ravens or Texans before we go and get the pitchforks and torches out again. Fire Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin sucks. It's a little bit fun, isn't it? It's a little bit fun to say that. Fire Mike Tomlin. He's fucking terrible. Fuck Mike Tomlin. He's awful. Yeah, it's a little bit fun, isn't it? I can see how well you guys do it. But me, I don't do that. I'm a Mike Tomlin supporter. I will be there at his Hall of Fame speech, shaking his hand and saying thank you for the 18 years of being a head coach. It's really tough to be a head coach in the NFL. It's really tough to win football games. You go and ask the Patriots, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Niners right now are playing, the Saints who are out of it, the Panthers who are out of it. You go and ask all those people and jump in their shoes. It's really tough to coach football games and to win football games. The easy solution is to say, fire Mike Tomlin. Fire Mike Tomlin. He sucks. He's terrible. He's awful. We need a new coach in town. We need someone else. Fire Mike Tomlin. He's a disgrace to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's mediocre Mike. He sucks. It's easy doing that, isn't it? It's much easier doing that.